you learn something about it. If you scared to fight, that's because you don't know how.
Yeah, right, exactly. Because the dude that don't, he rolling to get in the ring, he's like, yo, I got hands, I'm ready to roll. Like it's no thing.
Yeah,
So
it's just like what? Knuckle up, nigga. Here, bring it on.
right,
But
so
if you don't know how to fight, you're gonna be spending your whole life trying to avoid fights as a coward.
so
When
what
all you had to do was learn how to fight.
so what are we afraid of?
Fear is a general response to not knowing.
So okay, what is so base? I mean, I guess I'm kind of trying to like, what is it about me that I don't know that I need to know? It was one line in the Boondocks that always fucked me up. He was like, there are known knowns and there are known unknowns, but there are also unknown unknowns, things that we don't know that we don't know. So if there's something
Mm-hmm.
like, but if I guess I don't know the question to ask to trigger what it is that I need to know that I don't know about myself. Does that make
The
sense?
only reason why you can't think of the question to ask because you haven't got to the level where the question will come.
Okay. Okay.
Right? Soon as you get to the level, the question comes. Everything that you already asked a question about, you can answer those questions.
Right.
But if somebody asks you a question that you never formulated in your own mind, you can't answer.
Okay.
Why? Because you never answered that question because you ain't never asked it.
Okay. Okay. So
Right? So looking for the unknown is finding the unknown where you find it at. You don't know what you don't know till you find out what you didn't know. Now you don't. Now you know it. It's no longer in the unknown category.
right. So just to know.
Right? But those are stages of learning because you're moving from the unknown to the known. Right? First, the unknown is out of your realm of possibilities. Right? Then when you know what you didn't know, now you are in the realm of your possibilities because now that you know it, you know what you can do. Right? But you ain't good at it yet. You want to get to the point where you know it and it comes up automatic, unconscious knowing. That's knowing without knowing, which requires a greater trust in the self because then you don't need books no more. Books is just a training simulator, training you to train the brain. It's weightlifting for the mind.
Okay.
Right? Readers are leaders is what they tell us. Why? Because readers are actively exercising the brain. And you have to have a strong brain in order to encompass a strong mind. A strong mind can't function in a weak brain. So we use the reading as the weightlifting for the brain. We use the weights as the strength training for the body. Right? So the reading becomes intelligence resistance exercise. Weightlifting becomes weight resistant exercise for the body. Life is spirit resistance exercise. You only go through the hard times until you understand what's causing the hard times. And then you got ease. Why? Because you're strong enough to overcome the hard times. You can lift that weight. It's no longer heavy.
Okay. Okay. I got you. Yeah. That's shit.
For sure, man. I always love chopping it up with you.
Yeah, but all
But I'm gonna take another caller in here. I'm gonna take about 2 or 3 more before I go.
thank you, sir.
Let me see who's next. So, getting ready to do some invites here and see if we can get this thing going where the people will know um, that the show is on the road and we about to issue a challenge to those who are oppressed. Now, the challenge is this. All of the oppressed people, right?
the origin of your oppression is Levitical law. Now, if you go to your biblical New Testament, the Christ came to free you from the law and deliver you under grace. But there's a problem that the oppressed people need to be aware of. And this is not going to be a long video because I got some paperwork to draw up on some other stuff that just recently happened. So what we're going to do here is we're going to issue this challenge to all of those who feel like they oppress. Now, we're going to challenge them to connect with as many individual people as they can connect with and say, I no longer refuse oppression. I no longer accept oppression. I no longer accept suppression. I no longer accept anybody putting obstacles in my life path that I might reach my highest self. Now, the next thing in turn is there are people in place that's launching attacks against the sons of righteousness. So the second part of the challenge is these people are going to start coming out. Again, I know, Jillian, I need to call you in a few minutes because you asked me about something the other day and it's all relevant. Anyway, and so the people need to come together and bring as many as their leadership together as possible in order to overcome this oppression, right? So now we finna find out how to be liberated from this judicial system. You know, being that I had to get this paper from this false court about my son so that I can go down there, because it happened exactly as it said in the prophecy about them coming to get him. So I knew it was coming. I expected it. This is part of the process, and I don't have to like it, but as long as I follow the process. So while I go write this paperwork, when they're going to systematically start coming out after all of the real righteous ones, and they're going to start trying to tell y'all all of this negative stuff about them. As soon as you hear it about them, the first thing that you do is respond by telling them to prove it and to show the person making the claim immediately. They have to prove it with facts. Quran say, bring your facts if you're truthful. So when they start to condemn the sons of righteousness, everybody's challenge is to object. On social media, as soon as you hear it, issue a tweet, a Snapchat, a post, a Instagram, whatever. As soon as you hear them come out against one of the sons of righteousness, currently at this time, it appears to be that the minister is the one that the system is singled out to try to put the weight on, so we don't have to go for that. So as they single them out, the prophecies say that in order to break the oppression, that the people have to systematically speak up. That's what the prophecies say they have to do. As they condemn each one of them sons of righteousness, you got to command them to prove it with the facts and produce the accuser. And when they do that, they have to answer the same cause of condemnation that they issued up on that person. See, everybody keep thinking they under this Levitical priest law. We not under that no more. We not under the judges in the Judaica. We not under that no more. This is the new era. See, they want to put up the resistance because they don't think that Christ is real. They think it's mythology in the minds of the people who used to keep him under control, never knowing that the mythology that the people that was used to keep them under control, there was a superior force that used the same tool of oppression to awaken somebody at the close of the age that's going to set these things straight. And as soon as they start protecting the righteous, it will be so simple to break the oppression. And believe me, we pass all of the destruction. Even your enemy, your open enemy, the ones who want to keep you oppressed, They don't all feel like that. It's a small handful that's similar to what Du Bois called the talented tenth. Well, of those that don't look like you, that's keeping you oppressed, only about their untalented tenth of wicked minds or less is the one behind the whole mechanism and machine. So we about to drop some weight on them, but we need the unified voice of the people. This is the challenge. So if you hear them, y'all gotta automatically know that, like, Farrakhan been declared righteous from heaven. So whether I like him or don't like him becomes irrelevant to the fact that he is a chosen son of the righteous. So there's nobody on earth that should be able to condemn him if he already been approved in heaven. And then nobody should try to interfere with something somebody earned by works and by suffering. You know, didn't nobody even see him lay down his 42 confessions of Mike, because they don't pay attention to their history and they don't pay attention to the present. They think it's all just smoke and mirrors. You know, so we gonna have them come out, make the three kings see the sun rise in the Orient Assembly. When if Farrakhan gave that press conference and sent them CEOs down there to go adjust the contract in order that the worker be compensated, if he fuck around and gave that, and then they laid that ceremony I talked about down last night, the power is in the people. Y'all got to remember that the power is in the people. And the people refusing to accept the wicked, condemning and holding back the righteous, all they got to do is just speak up. I mean, you ain't got to go out and blow nothing up. You know, it's enough social media for the protest to be silently heard. They say he came like a thief in the night, you know, and he came to see who he can lead to righteousness. And it's not even hard if the people realize where they at now. And so in the challenge is a two-part challenge, you know. Most important probably being the second part. When you see them attacking the sons of righteousness, speak up. You don't have to go out in the street, because I ain't going to tell nobody to do no marching. We did enough of that already. All that doggone marching ain't, hey, Stephanie, all that doggone marching. If I tell somebody that look like me to march, it's wartime. If I tell somebody that don't look like me to march, it's the resurrection in full. You got to remember that. If I tell somebody that look like me to march, they're going to march with arms. Now, a protest is not a march. A protest where you meet somewhere where you speak up on the issue is not a march. I don't believe in marching. Marching is for war. And so, in the process of it, instead of sitting back, silent, watching the oppressor continue to hold you back and hold you down, maybe, just maybe, this is just, challenge. If you even colored social media to reflect the dissatisfaction of the people and to call heaven down to earth to redeem and repay the righteous and to smite the wicked, we see everybody under the impression that the destruction and the warfare have to be absolutely physical, never taking that the key to the warfare and the greatest victories are those won through strategy. Now, when you realize all of the prophecies been fulfilled, you can stop looking for that mass destruction. You got to get that out your head. That was just to keep it all in your mind while it was taking place. And so, in the process of this, stand up for the righteous. Don't be silent, but don't be a damn fool either. You can make your protest. You can, start making comments or supporting by giving thumbs up to the people that's doing the videos on it, sharing it, because it's not enough sharing of the relevant shit. I see a bunch of bullshit get shared all day long. Add that to it as number 3rd challenge. That when y'all see something that's really about liberation and freedom, share that to everybody in your friends list with a message that they shared to everybody in their friends list. Y'all got to know how to use the system in order to conquer it. If you don't even know how to use what you got, how you gonna get what you want? You got the method, you got the means, and you have the opportunity with the least amount of resistance to come from the bottom to the top just by showing support for your righteous leadership. If you do that and you show that support for your righteous leadership, then the King of Peace cannot deny the liberation of the righteous, because there is a common unified voice that's saying the same thing. And that's why they have to vex their grievances. You know, they have to vex the grievances in the public and suffer the self-sacrifice so that the people will understand that y'all can't keep doing this to righteous people. Now, as long as the collective don't say nothing, they're going to keep on suppressing and oppressing righteous people. But until the adjustment of the contracts for the auto workers is not fair to the auto workers, then none of this stuff can't take place. So we have to get together and collectively force them to obey the will of God, because there's certain rules at play, and they have a right to resist. They're going to pay for it because they don't believe it. They think it's all mythological, but they're going to all feel the wrath. And so watch the Pope, watch the Queen. You know, it already started with them. So you're going to see what I'm talking about real soon here. Watch the Pope, watch the Queen. Her punishment is for eating babies and drinking blood. And his is for not getting out of the Vatican by May the 5th with his pedophile priest. And them was his orders. I didn't want them to get the orders because I want them to suffer. Just like they made all them babies suffer and all them nuns suffer over the years and all them innocents suffer. I wanted them to suffer too, so I wasn't really trying to get the message to them. I came here for war, but I'm doing what you call strategic strikes. I wouldn't come to war with no mass bloodshed when I know that the blood and the rights is what's keeping the devil in power, and all I got to do is just turn it down a little bit. You know, stop letting them get Rex 84. But Rex 84 also tells you why they was talking about the wall. See, they was talking about that wall because right in there it's a part called cable cutter or cable splicer or something like that that talks about the mass exodus at the Mexican border. This was in 84. Now notice, Time Dictates the Agenda speech came out in 84. George L. Orwell in the 50s wrote a book about 1984 when Big Brother takes over. And, you know, it's a story about the prophet that came into town on a donkey. And in 83, when Jesse Jackson was running for president, this is what propelled Farrakhan onto the national stage. He rode that donkey. He seen what was going on because he was close to Martin. So that's why, like in that prophecy, you talk about that donkey that seen that angel and he was spooked. This is what they talking about. You know, so I'm not going to hold this video no long, but we see what the challenge is, and let's see who can live up to it. Let's see who can share relevant information. You know, scroll down my page, you hardly ever see anything that doesn't have an explanation of why it's there. And even if it don't, it's probably there for comedic purposes, because sometimes we just got to smile through all of the pain. You know, so with that, investigate, support the sons of the righteous, and keep y'all eyes open. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace, family. I probably should have took a break. Got me something to drink when that phone did that. But I was trying to get back in here and get us all titled on this. So I'm about to get to this. I'm going to give me a little drink right quick. Hold on. So this part, I'm just labeling the Jillian Brown effect, because Jillian cut like that. So I found that I had the key in the lock